Okay. In the previous class, we have discussed regarding the tuples and list. What are the different activities of a tuple, and what are the differences between a tuple and a list, and what are the comprehensions of a particular list, and how do you write comprehensions on lists have been completed as far as the previous class is concerned. But today, as far as your syllabus is concerned, so look at this. You have defining simple functions. How could you define simple functions in Python? And then how could you pass parameters? And followed by how could you call the functions? These are the items which we have to consider for today. And we would like to start the session today without any late. So look at this function. The function will be block of organized and reusable. Very important word, that is the reusable code that can be performed single and related action. Whatever the action you have to specify within the body of the function. So that could be performed by this particular function. And this function could be reusable. You can use this particular function anywhere else in the program. And if you want to perform same kind of action, no need to write the same code for several times. Once you have to define with the function could be used for several number of times. So that is why function code or function can be reused in the particular program for several number of times. So that is why it is a reusable code, and which can be performed a specific and related and a single task, single action. And functions are providing modularity in the sense breaking the program into several number of pieces will be called as modularity. Breaking a big program into several number of pieces. Each piece will be called as a module. So it could be provide a better modularity of your application when high degree of usability or reusability will be there within our program. Same kind of operations could be done for several times. For example, if you take this particular identification, that is what you call, so n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial. For example, this particular program, this particular binomial coefficient will be calculated something like this by using mathematics. So here factorial can be performed for several number of times, approximately 3 times. Okay, first you have to identify n factorial, then identify r factorial, then also identify n minus r factorial. So several number of times same operation could be performed. So that is why one function can be defined by you. That obviously you could have you could use the same function for several number of times. So therefore, so high degree of code reusability in the sense this is the meaning. High degree of code reusability in the sense this is the meaning. Same kind of action could be done for several number of times. If you are not introduced any functions in your program, so you have to write n factorial for performing factorial for n, one set of statements, and for performing r factorial for r, another set of statements, another same set of statements, n minus r, another same set of statements. So totally 3 different times you have to write the same code. So instead of taking that particular 3 different times, so we would like to write a small function, and that particular function can be called anywhere else within the program. So that is why it could be provided high degree of code reusing. Okay. As your program grows larger and larger, functions make it organizing and manageable. What does it mean? What exactly this particular sentence means in the sense, I'll give you one specific case study for this particular statement. So I could not explain this particular statement at this moment. After completion of explanation of functions, I'll give you one case study for you. Then you could get you could get some idea what is this particular problem here. Because if you want to reuse the same kind of function for several number of times with the different actions or activities, then you have to use functions. Okay, and repetitions could be gets divided by using functions. So while using functions, repetition could be gets divided by you, and then Python will be gives you many number of built-in functions or built-in methods. Already we have seen for list we do have very huge in number of so built-in functions or built-in methods, and for tuples also some functions are available, and for input some functions, for output some other functions. Many number of functions we have seen so far. And Python also, not only Python, any kind of language will be gives to the user a chance to create their own functions. Okay, those functions are called as user-defined functions. You have your own facility to create your functions. They are called as user-defined functions. Okay, so here we are trying to perform some kind of operation with our own functions. We are not trying to perform any kind of actions on built-in functions or built-in methods of any object. We are trying to perform some kind of actions which could be done by our own way. So that is why these are called as user-defined functions. Okay. And user-defined functions can be defined. How you can define a function? So wanted to define a function, yes, there are some rules and regulations. So those rules and regulations we would like to consider here. So first of all, we would like to take into consideration when you have to define a particular function. So you could see there are some rules and regulations you have to follow. First rule is the function will be get starts with a keyword def. Def is the keyboard, followed by the name of the function, whatever the function name you are to specify, and you have to open a parenthesis and give parameters, and then followed by closed parenthesis. So it could be done. So simply speaking, so def, so followed by, let me say ABC is my function name. So ABC of A is one parameter, comma B is another parameter. So close and then colon. Okay, this is the way you have to define your function header. This is function header. And then followed by any input parameters or arguments. Sometimes in some languages, these are called as parameters. In some other languages, these are called as arguments. However, any arguments or parameters to be placed within this parenthesis, something like this. This is the way of placing so this parameters out there or argument out there. Okay. So then followed by next rule is the first statement of the function can be optional statement within the body of the function. I'm talking about within the body of function. First statement is optional statement. So what is that first statement is documentation. Documentation in the sense for what you have written this particular function. You have to give some kind of information to the user. So this is the use of executing or otherwise evaluating this particular function. So that is called as a TOC string, doc string. Okay, that is called as doc string. So if you are interested, you have to use it. If you are not interested, yes, you have to omit it. Within the body, the first statement is so doc string, otherwise documentation string. So that is optional. So many people, so during learning of this Python, any programming language, people are not generally concentrate on documentation. So for learners, document string is not that much important. But as a professional, while writing some code for any company, so then documentation is very important. Thereby, if you would be work for only 1 year and you have developed some number of lines of code and you have resigned to that particular job and go away, then another person will be recruited within the same position and he must understand what you wrote. So that is why documentation is very important. What for a function can be written, what for a parameter can be used, and what for a particular logic was implemented. So all these things will be known to your successor after resigning, after leaving of your of your entity from the organization, they must know what is the actual operation could be done. So that is why documentation is very, very important while writing any kind of code. But as a learner, okay, you could take lenience, so implement any kind of documentation here. So okay, let us see how this could be. Then followed by, so code block will be get started after this particular column, as I specified here within this particular thing. So after colon, so code block will be get started, but of course it must be indented. Indentation must be gets followed. And before leaving the function, you must use one particular statement. That statement is written. Of course, you have learned the same kind of activity in our previous languages such as C also, but here also written will be there. So I have given the written with expression. This expression has been put into square brackets. Whenever any syntax will be have any square brackets will be there, then you have to understand that particular point will be optional. If you want to use, yes, you can use it. If you are not interested, you can omit it. That's the meaning of so the square brackets with the syntax out there. So therefore, after writing this particular written statement, obviously your function will be exits to the caller area. So you may be called this particular function somewhere else. So to that particular caller area, yes, it could be gets exited. Okay, and parameter will be optionally passing the parameter to the caller area. So you may be give some kind of parameter or return value, not exactly parameter, that is the return value actually. So you may be return the value or may not be return value. So if you are not include the return, so simply for example, so at the end of the function, so RETURN could be written by you. What does it mean? No value has been passed here. What does it mean? You are returning none. Nothing has been written. Okay, nothing has been written here. So that is the way you have to write your particular function. While writing the function, you must remember all these issues into consideration. Okay. So let us see the syntax here first. Okay, syntax will be so define function name. If you have any parameters, at least one parameter must be taken by the function here. Yes, parameters, number of parameters, colon. After colon, so it must be taken function dot string. Just before we have quoted, it is not important, and it could be optional only. Being as learner, you may be included, may not be included, doesn't matter. But being as a professional while writing code for a company, it must be included. It must be included. Otherwise, company people could not accept you. You are not a good programmer, something like that. They may report you. Okay. However, whatever the function body you are interested, yes, you can include your function body. Then return. So if there is an expression, yes, you can return. Otherwise, based on your nativity of your function, based on the activity or nativity of your function, you may be return the value or you may not be return the value. So this is the definition of the function. In this way, you can define the function, and this particular function will be called after defining this particular function. Leave one space here, one line space will be gets leave here, and then you can call the function name by using. So let me write here functionctiin function. So underscore name, so followed by any parameters you may be give some x, y, z, whatever the parameters may be, you have to give here. Press enter key over there. Obviously, they could be executed by default. In this way, you can define the function and you can pass the function here. And very important point to be remembered, by default, all parameters are positional in behavior. Positional in behavior. Positional in the sense, for example, so function of, let me write def followed by function of, so A, I would like to consider that A as a string, B as a character, and C as integer, and D as float, for example. Let me take, these are the supposition here. My intention is this is a string, and this is a single character, and this is an integer. So this is a particular float. For example, if you are so taking the consideration something like this, so in the same way you have to pass it. The same way you have to pass it. First one is always string. Of course, here in Python, what is the basic point you need to remember? There is no definition of explicit definition of data types. Explicit definition of data types in Python. Okay, that is why it is so free line coding. Free line coding in the sense you never define your data type, and there is no specification. This is the place where exactly you have to define variable. Such kind of restriction is not there in Python. So that is why so here some kind of a confusion should be there. But while writing programming, so it doesn't matter whatever the position you may be taking. First one is string in the sense you have to pass only string. Second one is character in the sense you have to pass only character, because within the body of your code you may be use A as a string. Some A will be used to behave like as a string. So within the body, you could identify what exactly. If you are not supposed to pass in the same way, then your function could not be gives you proper outputs are required. What exactly you required, such kind of output cannot be given. So that is why, by default, so the parameters are positional in behavior. Positional in behavior. Okay, that is what you need to remember. In the same order, you have to pass it. Okay, the same order you have to pass it. Let us take some kind of functions here. Let us do some kind of exercise on functions. So let me open. Yeah. Okay. So how could you define a particular function? Let us see here. Define def, okay, followed by square. Square is my function name, and then I'd like to take one parameter. That parameter is x. Okay, what should I do here is return simple statement, that is x into x. Otherwise, x exponent of 2. Whatever it may be, both will be same. Both will be same here. Then followed by give one particular statement. So doc string in the sense, doc string could be always starts with a comment line. So comment line used to this function is used to square of the given input. This is the doc string here. What exactly we are trying to perform? The same operation could be so specified here. After this, you have to give one state, one line, and then you will be taking some kind of input here. Some a will be equal to integer input of enter integer value. You have to take an integer value. Then followed by, so it has been written some value here. It's been written some kind of value here. Because of returning some kind of value, what exactly we're trying to perform here is, so b will be equal to, so after return some value, it must be stored somewhere else within the program. So that is where b will be equal to square of a. Sorry, a. After taking this one, you have to provide a print. So square of, otherwise you can take formatted output. Anything is okay. So percentage d is percentage d. So close references, close the quotes, and the percentile open. So square of a equal to b. So that is the point. You can take formatted output. Otherwise, you could provide something like that. Anything is okay. In this way, you could write your function with any kind of definition. Okay, this is the way. Let us execute this particular thing for a while. So let us see whether it is being executed or not. Let me save this one for a while first. Yeah, place same area where exactly we have been placing fun1.py. Let us execute this one. F5. Yeah, enter value, that is 4. So square of 4 is 16. Okay, square of 4 is 16. Something like this. In this way, you could write. For example, if you want to apply for square for 2 to 3 numbers or for 10 numbers, something like that, then it could be somewhat writing of the square for several number of times will be a tedious process. So that you have to define a function something like this and have to execute. Okay, this is one way of writing particular function. Of course, let me write one more function here. Just I have quoted fun2.py. I have quoted something for what is that? Binomial coefficient. So that is FPSCT factorial of x. Okay, let me take this particular function. So this function is used to find the factorial of the number. Okay, however, you could write even one. So let us take one particular thing here. That is, you may be call it as factorial. I'd like to use only what you call iterative kind of thing here. I don't want to go for a recursion. Recursion will be taken after some other time. Okay, iterative thing could be taken into consideration. F equal to 1 by default, I'd like to consider as 1 here. If x will be equal to 0, if x will be equal to 0, then what should we have to do? So return, so f in the sense, whatever the return 1, sorry, return 1. Otherwise, else, what exactly we are trying to perform? So f already has taken, that is, okay, let me take this particular f also within the block of code, within this particular else only, else block only. So f equal to 1, and then followed by I will be equal to 1. Then, yes, what exactly you people are. Everybody do. So this is the way. This is the way you can write your function, and this function could be taken for thrice. 3 times we have to use the same particular function here. If you are unable to write any function something like this, so your code size will be gets increased by 3 into 6, that is 18 lines. So same piece of code. This is the piece of code where exactly you have to use. This piece of code will be used for several number of times. So that is why in the definition of function we have given that this particular function function can be reused for several number of times. Same piece of code will be reused for several number of times. So therefore, it could be very much useful for us. Okay. So in this way, you could write our program and writing or defining your function something like this. And tomorrow, we would like to go in depth with the functions, and we will have some kind of discussion by tomorrow also. Thank you. Wait for a while and let me take attendance. Yeah, thank you.